G-Man. That there is T-Money, and welcome to the March 15th Father, Son, and Holy Sport Weekly Podcast. The dominoes are falling across the NFL. We had a crazy week with the return of Mr. Brady, and now with free agency happening this week, teams are wasting no time snapping up players on the market. How about the Chargers? Fearing getting swallowed up by the powerful AFC West, they come fresh off the trade for Khalil Mack and had another defensive piece by inking former Patriots corner J.C. Jackson. And two other teams in the AFC have shored up their offensive lines already like we knew they would. The Jags and the Bengals taking steps to protect the NFL's previous two number one overall pick, Lawrence and Burrow. I told you, T-Money, not to worry about your Bengals O-line, my man.
I mean, I'm always going to worry about the Bengals paying people. So, hey, that was
already
great.
Filling the holes for you.
Exciting stuff. You know, we got free agency, March Madness this week. Go Duke, baby. Exciting times. Just so fun to be a sports fan right now.
You got your Duke jersey on. You don't know what to do this week because you got NFL in your blood, but you got the Dukies in your blood too. What color is your blood? Is your blood blue or is it something else, man?
Depends if it's got air in it. You know, it's blue or red. I don't know.
Yeah, I love it, man. You see my man behind me here sporting the rings, going for another ring. I'm sure we'll be talking about him. Hey, y'all, do us a favor. Press the like and subscribe. We appreciate your support. And I'm G-Man. I got T-Money here with me, bringing you football energy. The March 15th edition of the NFL Rundown coming at you. It's a special segment of the Father, Son, and Holy Sport Podcast Network, brought to you by our friends at Woundwise IQ. Hey, let's go into it, man. Let's go into it and see what's going on in the NFL. I'm going to start off with this man behind me. He is the story, right? So far this offseason, what do you think? Are the Bucs the favorite now with Brady back?
No, I do not think so. That clearly is the Rams. If you're going to go just in the conference, it's them. I think they're going to make the playoffs because the division is so bad. But favorites, no way. To win the Super Bowl, there's probably 5 teams in the AFC better than the Bucs, or in the AFC. In the NFC, the Rams already beat them last year in the playoffs and won the Super Bowl. They have a lot of turnover happening. Yes, Brady's coming back, but both their running backs are free agents. Sue's a free agent. Pierre-Paul's a free agent. They got Godwin coming off an injury. They lost 2 offensive linemen already. Gronk's a free agent. Howard's a free agent. Brake's a free agent. I mean, they're not going to have Antonio Brown anymore after that fiasco as well. And there's just so much turnover. Their secondary's weak. They're not favorites. I don't even know if I can call them a contender at this point because of what their roster looks like. So, no, they are not the favorites. No way.
Well, I disagree with that totally. Let's talk about the NFC South. Yes, you said they are the clear favorite there. Remember this last year, they were 13-4. They were 4 games up on second place. Which that means to me, they go into the playoffs potentially with a home field advantage. They're going to roll through that conference unless we hear tonight, and I keep looking up to see if it gets announced, will Deshawn Watson end up in New Orleans? That would kind of be interesting for this NFC South. But if it's like last year, they roll through the South. Yeah. They may get the home field advantage. And they're certainly one of the favorites. Yes, they went down to the Rams last year by 3 points in the playoffs. The Rams could do it again. But it's those two teams right now. I don't see Dallas or Green Bay doing anything to change the equation.
No, I agree with you. I think the other thing is they also have to play the AFC North, so their out-of-conference schedule is one of the harder ones. I think the Cardinals will take a step up. The Niners are going to be good regardless. And so, look, Brady and the Bucs, they're going to be in the hunt, yes. And I don't think they get the bye. I just don't think they'll be the 1 seed. And if they're not, Brady typically doesn't make the Super Bowl. So, yeah, I just don't see them if they can be favorites with that roster turnover. And, that team went all in for 2 years. Now they got to pay everyone.
Yahoo Sports NFL odds to win the Super Bowl It's the Bucks, the Packers, and the Rams in that order in the NFC.
No way. I don't see it at all like that. Brady's name just giving them so much bravado, but that's great for them. Good for the Bucks. If he stays there, that'll be great. But I think some people have something to say about that later. Let's move on to another team who did move on from their Hall of Fame quarterback, and that's Pittsburgh. And they moved on from Ben Roethlisberger, where the entire city of Pittsburgh was worried that Mason Rudolph or Duck Hodgins was going to be their quarterback going into the season. Now they signed Mitch Trubisky to a pretty affordable 2-year contract here.
Yeah.
What do you think? Is he the new answer in Pittsburgh?
Well, this is a tough division, but it is up for grabs. The Steelers made the playoffs last year. If you look back at that team, they beat the Browns and the Ravens. I think we kind of think, well, Pittsburgh wasn't that good, but they've had an excellent team. They're well coached. They won at home. They were 6-2-1 at home last year, and they won their division games. They were 4-2 in their division. Remember, the Bengals were 10-7. The Steelers were 9-7-1. So they were right there with the Bengals. So this is a team that's coming off a pretty good year, and now they pick up Trubisky, who is arguably better than Ben was last year.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a step up. They don't need a superstar quarterback. They got Najee. They have good receivers. They've got a good defense. I think they just need, someone to kind of be a little bit above average, and they can make a run here again at this division. I'm just talking division.
Yep. Hey, I actually am on the same page with you. Now, the Ravens were hurt last year. They were probably the biggest injury bug last year. Lamar didn't play a lot. The division's going to be a lot tougher this year, especially if Baker's healthy. But I agree with you. This defense is elite. That was carrying their team. Ben Roethlisberger was a shell of himself. Like you said, great receiving core, great running back. They already shored up the offensive line with some free agency moves. So I really like the move for Pittsburgh. As a Bengals fan, I didn't like it. But I think this is a really good move. Trubisky was above 500 as a starter, got the city year behind Allen, and see how you can use the because he's got very similar skill set to Allen. He can move a little bit, big arm kind of guy, just not as accurate. I thought Matt Nagy was a horrible coach, so maybe some good coaching can help him with Brian Daboll last year and then Mike Tomlin this year. I like it a lot. I think it's a perfect move for them. They don't need anyone to rock the boat there, and he can give them a potential answer if they need to make a comeback, but they don't need for him to answer all their prayers. They just need someone competent.
Hey, well, I'm glad that you agree with me, and we're going down the same path tonight. This is good, man. Well, let's see how we do now. Let's go. Well, let's stay in the AFC North. Let's talk about your Brownies. Was trading for Amari the right move for the Browns? What do you think?
So getting Amari Cooper, I think, was great for the Browns. I don't know if trading was great. I thought the trade was pretty solid, like a 5th rounder. That's solid. Paying him that much, I think they could have maybe got him cheaper in free agency, maybe. But after that Christian Kirk deal, probably not. So yes, I think it was the right move. I think where they went wrong was releasing Jarvis Landry. I think he should have kept Landry. I know he was on an expiring contract. They freed up a bunch of cap space, but he was on an expiring contract. That cap space would have come off next year. They draft a wide receiver. They groom him under Landry and Cooper this year. This is Baker's last year on a rookie deal. You got to go all in. And I like Cooper, but I like another elite receiver on the other side of him in Landry. And I thought they went wrong releasing him. I loved it if there was a duo. I don't know if Cooper can be the guy in an offense. I'm not sure about that yet.
Well, I think he can be. That guy's is a number one receiver. He's a superstar. But I'll tell you what, man. He is moody. And know who else was moody? OBJ. Watch out, man. I'm just telling you. You get these moody receivers that need to have the ball.
I haven't seen that from Amari.
You remember Amari complaining last year he wasn't getting the ball enough? He was complaining about that last year. And he starts that again the way OBJ did. Watch out, man. Watch out. I love Amari's talent. He's a superstar. I don't have a problem with the let go of Landry. I mean, they have some other good receivers. In fact, What's his name? One of the other receivers, I think, beat out Landry in terms of yards. Who was their other third receiver? But he beat out Landry in terms of total yards.
They've
None of them
missed some
did really
games.
well.
Yeah.
None of them did really well. Okay. But I think it's a real step up for the Browns. Amari Cooper caught 68 passes at 865 yards last year, 8 touchdowns in 15 games. He's gone over 1,000 yards, 5 of 7 seasons. He can do that. He can do that. Donovan Peoples-Jones was the leading wide receiver, 597 yards.
Yeah.
So they're bringing in a guy that can do 1,000. So I think it's a good move for them. I just watch out for that locker room, man. Don't let them get all moody. It's going to be a problem.
2 things. This is probably, if Baker doesn't perform well, he's gone. So they'll get a quarterback who can throw him the ball. And if Amari doesn't perform well and he's a detriment to the team, they can cut him next year and clear a bunch of cap space. It's free cut, basically. So I think it's good move because they have flexibility in that. They got him locked up for 3 years too, which is great. Hey, sidebar, go get Deshawn Watson if you're the Browns. Pair him up with Amari and that team. Right now, I don't know. Texans might take a swing on Baker. You give him a couple firsts. I think it's possible. There's news they might do it. That's what I'd do if I was the Browns. But let's go to, we were talking about Dallas and some of these teams in the AFC the NFC that can make some moves. Well, what about Washington? They trade for Carson Wentz, Gary's favorite player ever.
Okay.
What do you think? Can Carson Wentz get Washington to the playoffs?
Hey, man, I told you a year ago he was not the answer in Indy. And what they do? They brought him in anyway. And what happened? The guy was a flop. And you know why? He's gone. He's gone already. This is his 3rd team in 3 years. This isn't G-Man talking about him. I'm giving you the facts, man. The guy did not perform. Otherwise, he'd still be in Indy. The guy didn't do the job. They just let him go. I don't even know if he's better than Heineke. Heineke might beat him out. I swear to you, Heineke might beat him out.
You're insane.
He couldn't get Indy to the playoffs. He's certainly not going to get Washington to the playoffs because they're worse. Washington was 7-10. They were 3rd in the division. Are they going to pass up the Eagles and Cowboys? I don't think so, man. This is not good. It's not good for Washington. It's great for Indy. We'll see where Indy ends up. But I don't like it for Washington.
I completely disagree with everything you're saying. If you remove his last week and his first 3 weeks, he's the top 5 QBR guy through the entire season. He played amazing for 14 out of 17 games. He was great. So you are overreacting to one game, just like Jim Irsay did. He forced the Colts' hand here. That's a bad move. But look, yes, he can get them to the playoffs, Washington here.
Oh,
how do you make the playoffs? You have one of the best quarterbacks in your division. He's already got the 2nd best quarterback in the division. He's 2nd behind Dak, right? They have the best defense in the division, right? So they can easily make some moves. Cowboys are floundering right now. They lose Amari. They lose Cedric Wilson. They lose an offensive lineman. They lost Randy Gregory. They're running. Zeke has never been the same. I'm just saying that this division is more open than people give him credit for. And Carson Wentz, I think he can easily get these guys to the playoff, if not win this division.
All right. We'll disagree on that one. We had some momentum going, but we'll separate on that one. Let's go over to that powerhouse conference, the AFC West. And what a lineup of teams now we got with the Chiefs and the Raiders and the Chargers and Broncos. What do you think, man? Is Denver a Super Bowl contender now coming out of this division?
Oh my God. I hate being this guy, but I can't answer. I literally, it's a yes and a no.
You would kill me if I didn't answer.
I know, Gary. And this is the one time that I think it's too early. I'm crazy. I need to see 6 games kind of thing. This reminds me a lot of the Bucks when Jameis couldn't get them to the playoffs, even though he was throwing through thousands of yards and leading the league and throwing. They seemed like a young, hungry team, and everyone's like, the Bucks. It feels like that because these are a bunch of B and C guys that have the potential, and they got good guys at every position, but no one that's stand out great. and all of a sudden Brady comes in and just changes everything. So that is Russ going to be that culture changer? And do they have the B2C guys that are ready to make B to A jumps? Like the Chris Godwins, like the offensive linemen did. Some of their Levante David and these guys on the defensive side the Bucs had. Do they have those guys ready to pull the trigger and become B and A's instead of B and C's in Denver? I'm not sure. I think they have the potential. They look like a young, hungry core, but can they make the jump to contender? Because Kansas City's there. The Chargers look like they've arrived. The Raiders are pretty damn good. They made the playoffs, and not to mention,
you're talking yourself
Allen.
into your answer.
I mean, I got to go with no if you're going to force me to one, because it's such a stacked conference.
Yeah,
but I think they can make that jump.
I'm agreeing with you. I'd say no. They were 7-10. Are they better with Russ? Yes. Was it a good move for him? Yes, it was. But no, I don't think they make it out of this hellhole of a division right here. This is going to be people beating each other up, and they're some of the best in the whole conference. What a battle in this conference. It's going to be awesome to watch this. Russ is a leader, man. He's a quarterback leader. He's already pulling in people. He got edge rusher Randy Gregory from the Cowboys to come over.
Yeah.
Don't tell me Russ didn't have a hand in that. Russ is a leader. He will lead this locker room, but he's not going to be able to pull this off, man. I mentioned to you before, I love the coaching move of the Raiders, bringing in Josh McDaniels. The Broncos got a good coach too, but I think Josh McDaniels is a better move for the Raiders. I think that steps them up. And the Chargers are going nuts in free agency. So these guys, everybody's panicking here, man. Everybody's going for this. I think Denver's going to be outside. They're good though. I like them.
Russell's used to competing in a tough division, so that's why it doesn't scare me. And last year, the Rams, the Niners, and the Cardinals all made the playoffs in that tough division. And Seattle, Russell Wilson was hurt and had the worst roster. But I'm just saying, it's not crazy for three teams to make the division. And the guy who didn't win the division, the Cardinals, didn't even make, the furthest run. That was the Rams. So I just think there's definitely a chance for them to make the playoffs, but Super Bowl sounds pretty crazy to me. So let's go to a guy that's looking to change teams. Now, Deshawn Watson, let's preface this by, we don't condone what he did, but the NFL is going to, these team owners and managers are going to see, hey, he was technically not charged, so he's innocent. That's how the NFL views this. So we got to be pragmatic and ask ourselves, what's the best place for Deshawn Watson right now?
Right. Well, a grand jury decided last week not to charge him criminally, so he's off criminally. So now it's down to the civil suits. There's 22 different women. So that's still, got to go on. But he's only 26. Even if he gets suspended, it's not going to be for a season or anything like that. So people are going to put up with him being out and be suspended if something happens like that.
Yep.
Did you know he's only 28 and 25 as a starter? I'm kind of thinking, wow, has he really proven himself? I know he's looked at as one of the top guys, but 28 and 25. And the Texans want him to go to the NFC, and they want 3 first-round picks. Well, that kind of narrows it down. I think the best place for him and where he's going to go is New Orleans. I think New Orleans is the spot. They're going to go for him, especially with Brady's announcement. They got to make moves. They're panicking. In fact, all the top teams that are going after Deshaun are in Brady's division: New Orleans, Atlanta, Carolina. They're all in there, and he's not going to a loser. He's going to a winner, and with him at New Orleans, they can make a run.
No, I like New Orleans a lot. And they typically run their team pretty well. I just think they now have the worst head coach in the division. Dennis Allen's a horrible coach. But I also think the Carolina owner is extremely aggressive. He's been vocal about wanting Deshaun for a while, and he's an ACC guy, so it kind of fits.
Yeah.
And I like Atlanta.
Back to Clemson,
Yeah, going back to Clemson, but Atlanta's his hometown. But those aren't the best spots for him. It's the Browns.
Oh, my God.
Deshaun Watson. Do you really want to make football moves? You really want to win at a high level in the NFL? You go to that ready-made roster up there. They got Amari for you now. They got 2 really good tight ends, maybe the best offensive line, young, hungry defense with Ward on the back end, and they got a stud in Myles Garrett on the front D line. This roster is ready, made for Deshawn Watson, and they want him. Texans, hey, you get Baker Mayfield. You can test him out for a year, maybe not pay him, maybe not. Who cares? Or Browns, flip Baker Mayfield for another first or a second. There you go. Throw that into the deal. I think it's ready-made, Deshaun. You want to really win, you go there. But he's not going to like the city, so I think he chooses Carolina. That's my prediction, even though it's not the best place for him.
Okay. I mean, I can see him going to Carolina. Matt Rule's good. Matt Rule wants to win, and so does the owner. I agree with you. They're a young team, and it puts them back near Clemson.
Yeah.
Cleveland is a great team and will be a great fit. We talked
all exploring it. They're exploring it. They went down. They went down and talked to him. The head coach and GM went to talk to Deshaun.
Yeah, I know. And they met him. And so there'll be a decision. It'll probably be tomorrow. The decision will be tomorrow. Because he's met with all these teams that we're talking about. And it would be a great fit for him. I just don't think he's going to the AFC. I think the better fit for him is New Orleans, where he can come in and contribute right away, and they can contend also. As they showed last year, they didn't have a quarterback, and they were battling. Their defense stepped up. I think it's going down tomorrow, so we're going to hear about it. Hopefully, T-Money and our editing crew can get this production out so people can hear what we're saying, because by the time it gets out, it could be over, man. Oh, okay. Hey, we hope you're loving the NFL Rundown. It's a special segment brought to you by Father, Son, and Holy Sport Podcast Network. If you're interested in being a guest on the Rundown, get out and reach out to us. This thing's brought to you by Woundwise IQ. It's a patented mobile analytic software app that automatically measures and analyzes chronic and surgical wounds. Just download the app from the App Store. You're ready to go. Learn more at woundwiseiq.com. Hey, if you love the show like we love you, press the like and subscribe and look for all of our shows and segments and clips where you play your podcasts. And also check out our new website, FatherSonAndHolySport.com. T-Money, let's keep it rolling through free agency. Let's see what goes down, man. Going to be more excitement in the coming week. See if we can overcome March Madness with our excitement.
All right, man. Can't wait. So much about to happen. Have a good one.
Hey, I'm G-Man. I have T-Money here with me, bringing you sports energy with the March 15th edition of the Chug and Chant, a special segment of the Father, Son, and Holy Sport Podcast Network. Hey, do us all a favor, press that like and subscribe. We appreciate your support. Okay, hey, we got Cousin Randy again up on the rooftops of San Francisco, up above T-Money right now for Cousin Randy's Chug and Chant.
Hey, welcome into this week's Chug and Chant. It's your main man, Cousin Randy, up here on this beautiful San Francisco rooftop. And if you notice my shirt, you better get ready for what's coming, San Francisco. Here's the chug, then the chant. Woo, Cousin Randy ain't coming nice. These West Coast wussies better get it together. San Francisco 49ers, get everyone together. Do everything you can. Call up the Bucks. Give them anything they want, baby, because you got to get Tom Brady, whatever it takes. He wants to come home. Jimmy G for Tom Brady sounds like a perfect excuse. You passed on Brady twice. You haven't won a Super Bowl yet because Jimmy G is just going to obviously throw the ball to the other team once a game. Brady's going to carry you to the promised land with that stacked roster. You better be doing everything you can to go get him. Don't sit on your hands again, Kyle Shanahan, and pass on Brady when he wants to finish his career for his hometown team, the Niners. My God, this is set up for a storybook ending. I'm telling you, San Francisco, you guys out here with this beautiful views, don't get caught up in the limelight. Go get you a gritty QB and Tom Brady. Don't pass up on it now, please, because Tom Brady will make you regret it. When he takes you down in the playoffs, he'll come with a vengeance. G-Man, T-Money, where are you on this? What should San Francisco do?
Well, hey, Cousin Randy, hey, I got to tell you, man, I love the idea, T-Money. I love his idea. This could be a storybook ending. I'm agreeing, man. I like Cousin Randy. Ain't coming nice, San Fran. I love that. That's funny. but I like the idea. What do you think, T-Money?
Hey, that West Coast wussies was pretty funny, but yeah, I think it's good, man. I would love the idea. I don't think the Bucs are going to let him go, but if I'm Tom Brady, I'm like, hey, I'm not going to retire. Like, I think if he wanted to go to the Niners, it has to be tomorrow so he's got to generate some buzz. I think he says, look, Bucs, I'll come out of retirement, but I'm only doing it to the Niners. Right? Are they going to tell him no? And plus, I think it's a smart move for the Bucs because it gives them a long-term quarterback in Jimmy G. Then you don't have to go with Blaine Gabbert. So I think the move is great for everyone, but I just have an inkling that the Bucs are like, no, you're coming back or playing with us or you're retiring. Like, that's kind of the feeling I'm getting from this situation. Just like what the GM said, what Bruce Arians has said in the offseason. Like, I just don't think they're going to let Brady play with anyone else, which seems like a kind of a dick move because he won you a Super Bowl. Like, let him go to his hometown, but because I love the idea, but I don't think it happens.
Hey, Niners feel like they're in a great spot right now. They've got Trey Lance, and they feel good about him becoming the next guy. And
1 year under Brady would be great for him. One more year under Brady. That's it.
You don't let me finish my statement. That's what I was going to say. That if they bring Brady in, though, they get him and that grooming for another year, and that Trey Lance is really strong. So they're feeling good about where they're going, and they would love to have him, I'm sure. But hey, man, here's a little conversation. What if this conversation happened? Okay, you're the Bucs owner, and I'm Tom Brady, and you come to me. Oh, no, I'll be the Bucs owner. You be Brady. I'll come to you and say, Tom, I know you. I know you're retired and everything, but if you retire, we don't get anybody for you. So, if you'll come back, I'll let you out of this thing gracefully. We'll get a nice trade. We'll get a piece for you. We don't lose out. You get to go to your hometown. Why don't we just work out a little thing here, Tommy?
Yeah, I think it happened the other way around. There's no way the Bucs want to trade him. I just think there's no way
they were getting nothing for him before.
So
they got nothing for him, and here's a way for them to get something.
He's under contract. If he's going to come back, they're like, no, you're playing for us. Like, I agree, but here's the reason.
If he retires, they don't get anything.
I think they would rather that.
What? Why would they want that? Why would
they're selfish. They're selfish owners. I'm telling you, though, I think the Brady went to Manchester United game with the owners of the Bucs the other day before he announced that he was coming back. And I think that's when he said, hey, I'll come back if you trade me. That would have been when he announced it shortly thereafter. There's no way the Bucs said, we want you to come back so that we can trade you.
I think the Bucs
that's absurd.
I think the Bucs have something in for this also. Hey, how about this? Would the Bucs accept a trade that includes Jimmy G?
I mean, I think they'd be stupid not to. What's their long-term answer right now? So
okay, and what about this scenario then? Would they accept a trade that would include Trey Lance? What about that?
Obviously.
Now you start to get my attention if I'm the Bucs, right?
What if you're not going to give him Trey Lance? You're not going to give him Trey Lance.
What if he was in the deal?
I don't think the Niners would do that.
That would be pretty interesting, though.
That won't happen.
If you want to get Tom Brady, you might have to give up Trey Lance.
I don't think I would actually do that if I was the Niners. You gave up 3 firsts to get Trey Lance.
You wouldn't give up Trey Lance for Brady?
No.
To take you to the promised land?
Nope, I'm sorry.
Oh, my God. Tommy, do you hear that?
Marcus Mariota is better than Jimmy G. Sign him off the street and he'll get you to the NFC Championship game.
Wait, I think we're both agreeing with Cousin Randy. I think we're trying to see where the path goes, but we all like the idea, Cousin Randy. So
yeah, I like the idea.
We know you're not coming nice, but man, you got a great idea there, man. And hey, after Deshawn announces Jimmy G could be gone because Carolina, Indy, and Seattle are looking for somebody, and that could be Jimmy G. So if this is going to happen, it's got to happen quick like this week. Hey, we hope you love the Chunk and Chant this week. It's a special segment brought to you by the Father, Son, and Holy Sport Podcast Network. If you're interested in being a sponsor or a guest chugger with Cousin Randy up there, let us know. And if you love the show like we love you, press the like and subscribe button. And you can find us where you get all your podcasts and check out our website. It's a new one, Father, Son, and Holy Sport On behalf of T Money out in San Fran, I'm G-Man. We'll see you next week.
All right. See you later. Peace.